You found Queen Bee Crafts, my channel all about my crafting life. My name is Eve, my pronouns are she, her, and this is Flosstube episode number 12. Today is June the 6th, 2024, and this is my Flosstube channel where I predominantly talk about cross stitch. I do have a couple of other little crafty things today, but they are cross stitch adjacent. So I'm going to just dive right in. I have a lot to talk about today, and then maybe at the end we'll do a little life update. But I've got new starts and whips, no finishes this time, but quite a bit of acquisitions. I'm going to start calling it acquisitions to my collection and library, pattern library, fabric and floss collection. Makes me feel less bad than stash. And I got some new friends that I want to talk about too. So here we go. New starts. I have 4 since the last time that y'all saw me. First up is the official stitch along for the Queen City Stitch Retreat in October, which I am attending, and it is a pattern by Autumn Lane Stitchery, who is the featured designer, and it is lovebirds. I am really excited about how I've decided to stitch this pattern because it's going to be super little. Now obviously it's hard to tell because I don't have like the stitched piece like on what count it was stitched on, but this is 25 count. It's Victorian red and it's a Whittier fabric, I think, and I'm doing this 1/1, so it's going to be very little. I'll bring you in close. Hopefully my camera will focus enough that you can see how little this is going to be. And I think it's just absolutely darling. So it will fit on this part of this 1/8. So then I'll have, can't figure out where my camera is, sorry. I'll have this other half to do something else fun with. So I'm really excited with how that is starting out. And I made that start on May 18th. So there is that one. The next start that I have is a birthday present for my husband. I doubt he'll watch this, but Robin, if you are, disappear at the, So I decided that since I made him a cross stitch for his deployment homecoming last April, I would do another for his birthday. And he is a gamer. He is a big World of Warcraft fan. So I picked out this pattern off of Etsy. It's by SmittenKittenXStitch. And whenever he plays as a member of the Horde. So this is their emblem logo. I just have to fill this in now. I've done all the outline, and so yeah. This is 16 count Cocoa by Fiber on a Whim, and I'm using 2 strands of thread since it's 16 count, and I think the called for is like 814 or something, and I just didn't think it looked red enough. I think it's a little bit more on the purple leaning red. So I grabbed 321, which is my favorite true red. I think it's actually scarlet, but this is so much fun. It's so easy. Monochromatic stitching always is. And so I need to actually just bust this out because his birthday is on the 17th of this month. So I got to finish that and then fully finish it. I already have an idea how I'm going to do that, so that I don't have to worry about quite as much, but I do need to pop on a show or something and just fill in, which I find the most boring of cross-stitching, but it's got to get done. Alright, next new start is a DMC freebie. It is called Half Moon, and I luckily had all of these items to stitch with in my stash collection library. So I didn't actually have to go out and purchase any of the floss, and the fabric that I chose is an offcut, the last bit of my 18 count Mystic from Picture This Plus. So this is the small start that I have on Half Moon. This one is stitched 1/1 with the called for. It's regular DMC cotton and also DMC Etoile. So I think this is Etoile already. Come on, focus. So, ta-da! I love these little freebies off of DMC's website. I think I've mentioned that several times before, but if you haven't already, go check out their free patterns, because they have a huge collection of some really cute things, and you know, depending on how you stitch them, they make great little gifts or stash busters, you know. So that one was started on May 25th. I think I forgot to mention that I started the Horde pattern on the 24th of May. And then this one is my most recent new start. I started this one, did I say it was the 7th? It's the 6th, my bad. I was looking at the calendar earlier and I have stuff going on tomorrow, which is the 7th. So in my head I got that it was the 7th. No, it's the 6th. So I started this one yesterday on the 5th. And this one is by Pickens Designs. It is the Seasonal Courier series, Robin's Spring. And this is where I've gotten to so far. Put this on the board too, because it's easier for me to hold the board in. So this is 14 count Fiddler's Cloth DMC Charles Craft from one of the big box stores, and on the packaging it says it's light oatmeal. I don't know if that is the case for all Fiddler's Cloth, but I actually had to look up what that meant, and it's just it is technically Aida, however it's a different blend of fibers. It's got rayon and silk in it as well, so it's a little bit more stretchy than your regular Aida. So back to the stitching. This is 2/1 with the call for DMC, and I did all of this yesterday in probably about 3-ish hours, 2.5 hours. Wasn't really counting. I don't keep track of time when I stitch. I don't keep track of stitches when I'm using a paper pattern, which is what I'm doing here. Because it's just too much to try and count. But I got all this done yesterday, and I am really proud of where I've gotten to. I have switched up a couple of things. The spacing of certain bits, like those yellow squares, are moved over 1/8 square, so that they're not touching the element on the other side. And then I flip-flopped this green triangle banner so that the half one was on this side instead of this side, just so it kind of felt a little bit more complete over there. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but I also alternated the colors here. So these two shades of green, it was just supposed to be the more like blue-green color, all of them, but I did alternate the bluer green and the more light green color. So those are little changes that I'm going to make throughout the pattern, because there are those elements kind of throughout, but I am very happy with how this looks so far. I am going to pop this off of here and use this as my cover photo, so pardon me while I take a picture with it. Okay, it's always so awkward, but I don't set up my camera and just pull out a project and take a picture with it afterwards. It's just easier for me to slide through the video and take a picture that way. So those are all my new starts since you saw me last, which I think was 3 weeks ago. So now I've just got whips, works in progress. These are things that have already been previously shown in videos, and so if you want to see where they started or where they were, you know, several videos ago, you can go check that out. But I will put in pictures of where they were last time. So my first whip is my very large full coverage piece. It is Cosmic Lover by MedusaDollmaker. I have the kit from GeckoRouge. Unfortunately, they no longer carry her artwork, which is really sad, but she does have her own website that she is carrying these patterns as PDFs, so you can still stitch them if you would like to. Here is where I was the last time that y'all saw this project, and I'm going to apologize for how I have this on the Q-snap, but here it is now. I think I'm making great progress on this. For only working on it pretty much on the 17th of each month. Ta-da! I am implementing new theme days throughout my week when I'm stitching though. So this one, or my Pokemon project, or my Stardew Valley map, since they are like my biggest full coverage projects, I have decided to pull those out on Wednesdays and call it Whopper Wednesday, because who doesn't love a good alliteration? So feel free to do the same as me if that's something that you're interested in. We can hashtag Whopper Wednesday if we're posting about it on Instagram. I know that hashtags don't always work, but yeah, if you'd like to join me to work on our massive projects so they get a little bit of work each week, go ahead and join me on Wednesdays. So that is Cosmic Lover. And I didn't mention that that is 28 count, easy grade Lugana. I'm using the kit floss and stitching 1/1. Ta-da! Okay, next up is one of my many stitch-alongs, Sal's. This one is a mystery stitch-along from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. It is Enchanted Realms. And I'm not behind on this one because technically part, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Why am I so hiccupy today? Excuse me. Part 5 was released the end of May, and we have until like the end of June to complete it. So I'm still within the realm of working on it. But I do try to like to get these completed as quickly as I can, and right now all of my stitch-alongs are not caught up. So that is probably my today plan, to try and catch these up. But anyways, here is where Enchanted Realms was the last time y'all saw it, and here it is now. So part 5 is over here where this little wizard is started. You'll have seen in the pattern photo, there's also a phoenix and like a trunk with a bunch of spell books. So I need to finish little Mr. Wizard here and finish up his stuff. I am so shaky trying to hold this up for y'all. Alright. So yeah, that is Enchanted Realms. Super cute, super fun. I love Caterpillar Cross Stitch's mystery stitch-alongs. They do a really good job because each part is like not crazy, like a crazy amount, but they do give you pretty much a full month to complete whatever section that is, which is nice. Alright, I keep forgetting my fabrics today. Enchanted Realms is 18 count very light pewter by Whittier, and I'm stitching 1/1 with the Globe DMC. So what happens when you go 3-ish weeks without recording? You like forget how to do this. Next up is Femurs and Fungi, which is a stitch-along hosted by Fine Frog Stitching. It's their pattern. And here I was last time, and where I am now. So the shelf in the center, directly under the cat skull, is the current week's release. So I'm not quite done with it yet, but I need to get back to this because here we are Thursday, and it's not done, and I get another little piece tomorrow. So this is 18 count Mystic by Picture This Plus, and I'm using the Globe DMC, stitching 1/1. Alright, 2 cells down, 1 to go, But first, let me show you Candie. This is my only fancy lady, charted by my friend Kat over at Whittier Stitches. The artwork is by Culpeper, who is her tattoo artist and a pretty awesome tattoo artist in general in Louisiana. So I pulled this lovely lady out shortly after I recorded my last video, and I worked a lot on her. At least I tried to. Actually, I don't know if I got that much more progress in since the last time that y'all saw her, because I remember talking about how she had a face last time, but I don't really see any more progress on this, except maybe I filled in some hair. She's got a lot of hair, guys. So here she was last time, and where she is now. This is so pretty. I love her. This is 32 count gingerbread by Picture This Plus. I'm using 2 strands of the Culpeper DMC. I'm doing Skin Tone 2 with the blue dress. Let me open her all the way up. So obviously this is a fat quarter fabric. I started in the middle, but I measured so that there would be a 2-inch margin, and she's so pretty. I mention this every time, like I need to get back to her. And I really should be putting in like 100 to 150 stitches on her every day, if not more, because I would like to try and get her done by October, so I can take her to Queen City, so I can take her to Charlotte in October. But every day that goes by and there's more things that I want to work on, it gets harder and harder for me to keep up, and then I have to add more and more stitches each day. So, we'll see. I didn't write down when I worked on these. They are in order of like when I pulled them out for the first time. A lot of these got work like different times throughout the 3 weeks, but I tend to write down my list of when I pulled them out from the time that I last recorded. So I must have recorded sometime shortly before the 24th and the 25th of May, because I pull out holiday stitching on those 2 days. So what I do is I have all of my holiday whips on a tiny decisions wheel. I spin that and it will give me the project that I work on for that day. So the 24th, I spun Wee Santa 2023 by Heart and Hand, and this one I'm stitching 1/2 on 36 count. Let me look at my notes. 36 count Brenda's Brew by Arna Reproductions. Here I was last time that y'all saw it, and where I am now. I do apologize, I didn't iron anything today. I just wanted to get on here as quickly as I could. So there is my Santa. I probably, instead of spinning next 24th or 25th, I should just pull him out, because I would like to try and get him done before December of this year. I don't think I'm going to do every Wee Santa that Heart in Hand puts out. It'll depend on the style of it and if I like it enough or not. This one I thought was really cute. Those pinwheel flowers are just absolutely darling. But if I really like the look of the 2024 Santa, then I might stitch that one as well. But we shall see. Alright, next up is another holiday pattern. This is the one I pulled out on the 25th. This one is Snow Globe. It's another freebie from DMC. This one I am using 28 count Monaco big box store even weave. So it's very, very stiff. And because of that, I don't like taking it out of the hoop because it is a pain to get in and out. But here I was last time and where I am now. I'm gonna put my board behind this really quick because I don't know if it makes a difference at all. This one is using all the called for DMC, which uses light effects, which are, well, if you've used light effects, you know. If you don't, they are very difficult to work with. Especially on this very rough, stiff, even weave. I wanted to stitch this 1/1 so that it would be really little. Kind of regretting that mistake, or that choice, I should say. But it is looking really cute, right? I hope. Otherwise this will be all for naught. I don't think I made that much progress on this just because it is so obnoxious to work on. I love how it's looking, but it's one of those, what does Steph say from Lindy Stitches? It's my cough syrup project, where you just take it because you know it's gonna help, or in this case, you do it because you want the finished project. But oh boy, it is definitely, when it lands, when the spinner lands on this project, I get a little like, I don't want to do that, but I want it done, so I just do it. I put in usually like 50, maybe 75 stitches on it each time I pull it out. And then I put it away because that's all I can handle on it. So yeah, Snow Globe by DMC. If I was doing it like on a normal count fabric, it probably would be fine. Totally fine. It's just because I chose to do it 1/1 on 28 count. So, all that aside, I worked on my Manning May project in May, and then also I've decided to take a card out of Allie the Stitch Haven, I think. I'll put her handle here. She started the hashtag Manning Monday, or it's just another Manning Monday. And I can sort of sing, so ta-da. And I have been working on this on the Mondays in June so far. So I have worked on this quite a bit. Since y'all last saw it. If you're unfamiliar, it is Sunflower Symphony by Carolyn Manning. This is one of her tiled designs as opposed to one of the full coverage pieces. I have several on my list that I want to stitch of hers, and I think she extended her sale through June. So if you are interested in stitching Carolyn Manning, if you love stitching Carolyn Manning and you didn't know she was still having a sale, go check out her website. She's got so many different designs and a lot of new releases. So I actually have like 4 sitting in my cart right now, and she's like releasing a new one each week pretty much in June, it feels like, and there's 2 of those that I really want to do. So I'm waiting until closer to the end of June to make my purchase, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be something else that I want. Anyways, a tangent, sidetrack, sorry. Sunflower Symphony, where I was last time. And where I am now. Ta-da! I have the whole border done, right? Yep, whole border is done. And I have a little bit of the motif for here, and I did finish this whole motif in this corner. My fabric does not want to stay upright. Speaking of fabric, this is 18 count vintage by Swigart. It's one of their printed fabrics. I got this one at a big box store. And it is really pretty. I actually have this piece. I want to try and use the other half of it for another Carolyn Manning. It might be a close fit, so we'll see, but I'm really, really happy finishing up this whole motif on Sunflower Symphony. It's so pretty. I love sunflowers. And I don't know. I don't think a lot of people think of like those golds and browns as pretty, but when they're paired with the greens and look like flowers, they're just, oh, so stunning. And I love, love, love it. So there's that. 2 more. I've got Deadly Aquarium, which is the stitch along hosted by Lola Cross Stitch. We are about to get, at the time of this recording, the 3rd exhibit, but I'm not quite done with exhibit 2 yet. So yeah, where I was before and where I am now. So I'm going to fold this in half so I can bring it in closer. Here is exhibits 1 and the start of 2. First we got the little moray eel in this treasure chest. And exhibit 2 is a pufferfish, who I have not stitched yet, who is hiding in the bull kelp, I think is what that is. So I need to finish this as quickly as I can. We'll see, maybe I'll pull it out today. There's a good chance that I don't stay caught up on this stitch along. I really wanted to, but with everything else that's going on and new starts that I've planned for this month and all of the like theme things that I have going on during the week, it's most likely going to fall behind. So that's a bummer, but it is what it is. This is 18 count Tangled Up in Blue, dyed by Stitchman Darcy. here on Flosstube over on Instagram. You can also find his shop on Etsy. And that's 1/1 with the Globe DMC. Alright, last project. Dark 13/31st stitching. That's another theme day that I'm implementing into my regular rotation. So I only have, currently I only have one spooky, Halloweeny type project, and that is the Lunar Witch by Autumn Lane Stitchery. So I decided I was going to pull her out so I could get a little bit more work on her. And this is where I was before and where I am now. And I see that my husband just got home, so this is 36 count Dusty Cottage by BeStitchMe. It was, which month? The January fabric of the month for this year. And I worked more on the gate. So that is the very bottom of the pattern, which is exciting. So now my next plan is to take the black up towards the top and try and work the gate all the way across the top and to the opposite side so that I can cut my fabric. I don't want to risk, that's one of the things when I'm using linen, I don't like measuring and cutting a big piece without knowing the, like, what margins I want on each side. I mean, I guess I have kind of figured out that I wanted 2.5 on the one side, but just to make sure that I have enough space. So that one I will work on again on the 13th of this month and on the 31st. So there is that, and this is Globe DMC 1/2, but I am using Anchor Black instead of 310 because I have never used it before. I wanted to see if it really did make the difference that people claim it does. I don't see a huge difference, but that could just be me. Those are all my books. So I guess I'll talk plans first. So I managed to get floss for 3 projects that I talked about last time. Actually, I'm gonna grab them. Okay, so I kitted up 4 projects, 3 that I talked about and 1 new plan. So I was invited to do another round robin with 4 lovely individuals, and it is the, I don't know the name of the pattern, but it's this one or something similar to it by MedusaDollmaker. She's got these cute little spooky cryptid little creatures, and I am stitching this with some lovely individuals, Cat from Wicked Cat Stitch, Beckspin, Andy the Crow Stitcher, and Sam, Kansas City Stitcher. So I'm doing the Mothman, I think it's Moth Girl in the pattern title, but Mothman. And I'm using the Culpeper flosses, and I'm going to send these along with my piece, and each person is going to stitch the character that they've chosen on my project. So I will end up stitching Moth Girl 5 times. Luckily it's a small pattern and everyone's chosen different fabrics and different flosses, but I'm gonna send mine along with my project, and I have chosen this awesome fabric of the month from Fiberlicious. It is Burning Woods Crackling Fire. Oh, so cool. Love, 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 love. So I'm going to start on the side. That's my center point for my piece, and then everybody else is going to add theirs next door. And I hope that it turns out fun. Good. Obviously, this is a first for a lot of people, round robins wise. So we'll see how it goes. There's a good chance that I get a little bit bored of stitching the same thing over and over, but we're also not like on a strict time schedule. So I need to get that one started so that I can, you know, move it along, because I have so many other projects coming down the pipeline. One of them being another start I want to have this month, and it is from Emma Congdon's Cross Stitch for the Soul. It's this one. It says, "A smooth sea never made a skillful sailor." And this one is exciting because it's going to be like a commemorative piece-ish for my husband. He actually just made first class, and I'm really proud of him. So that one I'm going to use as like a commemorative, ta-da, you did this in the Navy. And yeah, so I just need fabric for that, but I do have the floss all ready to go. There's a chance that I use one of the fabrics that I got, fabric of the month for May, which I'll show you here in just a little bit. But the last piece that I kitted up was Stitchy Tier by Erin Elizabeth Designs. And I'm going to use the same fabric that I'm doing Robin's Spring on, which is the 14 count Fiddler's Cloth. I was going to do this pattern really small on 40 count, but I was like, I want to actually display this like in my craft room because it's, you know, stitching related and it's super cute, so I want it to be bigger, so I'm going to do it on 14 count. So this is what I'm going to do for Stitchy Tier, and that one's all ready to go, so I can start it whenever I want to, which might be soon. We'll see. Last thing that I have almost all the way kitted up is the pattern Introverted by Silver Creek Samplers. This is one that my friend Sarah from Millennial Stitchers / Millennial Fabrics picked out for me, and then picked out one of their fabrics to go with it. I love the color that she picked for this pattern. Well, let me actually backtrack. I love the piece of fabric that she chose for something else. I don't think that it looks, or that it is what I envisioned when she said that it was this pattern, or when I opened it and I saw that it was this pattern. But I do have another piece of her fabric. This one's oat milk, and it's a 40 count. And I have all the DMC. It's charted in Fancy Floss. I don't think all of the Fancy Floss is necessary, just because of the way, I'll put up a picture of it, but here's the pattern. I don't think that like these little scissors or this spool is really going to translate in variegated. So what I've decided to do is do the entire pattern in DMC, but do the tomato in the called for variegated and the big lettering in the call for variegated. That way there's still some interest that way, but it's a little bit cheaper than buying like 12 Gentle Art. So I have the DMC alternatives for the colors that I'm not doing the Fancy Floss for, and the fabric. So really I could start that one now if I want to, because I'll be starting most likely in the top center. I either do top center starts or middle starts, depending on the fabric cut. Like, if I can measure the fabric and be like, okay, this is the right size, I'm just gonna fold it in half and start at the top. Or if I have just like a scrap and I know that the border is going to be small, but that it'll fit on that piece, I start in the center. So those are my tentative plans. The round robin will take priority over everything else. But I do have, I might record before the 21st, I think is the first day of summer, which is when my next bird by Heart and Hand for the hashtag Season of the Bird Sow that I'm hosting will start. So that's on the docket, and the round robin definitely, and then probably Smooth Sea. But that is plans. Now let's talk purchases slash monthly clubs, library and collection acquisitions. First switches, I have been making needle minders for myself. This is just a small collection of them because I have the rest in projects, but here's just a few. I found these really cute buttons with different little images on the tops, and so I'm turning these into needle minders. I'm saving the ones that I really like a lot of these cat ones. I have so many of these cat ones, different cats with different backgrounds, for myself because I'm a huge cat person. But there's some also really like cute colorful ones. I really like this fairy. And I have a whole bunch of buttons still. So I've been making needle minders. Most of them will go with me to Charlotte as little fun things for friends and new friends that I meet at the retreat, but any of them that I just can't pass up keeping, I'm gonna keep. So that's one cross-stitch adjacent crafty thing that I've been doing, but I did have to purchase the buttons and the magnets that I'm using, and I'm using the what size is this? Neodymium magnets. It's really hard for me to say. On the back, so then just super glue, and it seems to be working out really well. And luckily these buttons are super lightweight, so it's really just the weight of the magnet that's on your project. So yeah, ta-da. Next I bought a clip lamp, like a plug-in clip lamp. I bought this with Queen City in mind. Let me grab my battery pack really quick so I can show you. So I have a rechargeable battery pack that I hope has enough charge on it. So I got this clip desk lamp from Amazon. I will make sure I put it in the description, but it comes all rolled up. You just unroll it, clips to table, or I have used it clipped to my stand. Works great. It is a little bit more weighty than I think some other of these are, but it does feel very heavy duty, sturdy, like it's not going to just snap. And it's got a couple of different light settings. So let me plug this in. First, it's got both a wall plug, but this comes off, so I do have just the USB. And I'm going to plug this into my battery pack, and I should be able to turn this on. Yeah, okay. So on here, it's got on and off switch and dimmer and brighter. So it does both cool light and warm light. I'm not sure you're gonna be able to tell. And then each of those can be brighter. So that's dimmer, that's brighter, brighter, dimmer. And I think that, so when I'm stitching, I typically use white light. I can see my stitches better. However, when I'm in a collection, a group, not a collection, of people sitting at a table, there is a good chance that I'm going to use the yellow light, the warm light, because it's not quite as harsh on the eyes, so it's not distracting to other people. And I bought this with my retreat in mind because I don't know what the lighting situation, turn that off since I'm blinding myself, is going to be. And I know that I have several of these battery packs, so I will not run out of light. I'll probably save it until the evening stitching, because I heard that there's big windows that let in a lot of natural light, but as the sun goes down, because it is October, I'm most likely going to need extra light. So that is that purchase, and I'm very excited. Okay, so next I got, finally, the Summer Just Cross Stitch magazine. There is a couple of patterns in here that I am interested in stitching. Where is the one that jumped out at me first? Hold up. Of course, because I'm looking through this, I'm not going to be able to find it. But now that I'm talking about it, I did find it. So this is Summer Happiness. Happiness is a basket of fresh strawberries on a summer day. I think this is just so cute. If you have this magazine, this might be a great little start for Marjorie Maid's Summer Moon Sal. Since June is the Strawberry Moon, sorry, not Summer Moon, Strawberry Moon Sal. She gave us the prompt, just stitch on anything with strawberries in June, and use that hashtag and tag her. So I might try and get this up and make a start on it. But like I've mentioned already, I have lots of plans and not a lot of time because there aren't 72 hours in a day. Which is probably what I would need in order to do all of the projects that I want to work on. So just cross stitch, and then I ordered from Sarah at Millennial Fabrics. She does a live video talking about her new additions to her shop. And she had 2 tiny towns that I didn't have yet, so I bought them. This is Big Hearted Tiny Town, the Valentine's Day themed one, and also Patriotic Tiny Town. So I need the frill for Patriotic because I think that one was just released, and then I'm still waiting on a frill for Big Hearted. And then I also, first of all, I'll blur that out because that has my address on it, my bad. They do such a great job, and by they I mean Nathan and Sarah, of packaging and shipping out super quick all of their items. So first of all, I ordered needles. Look at how well this is packaged. Like, I just can't get over it. They were wrapped in bubble wrap. They're not just thrown in the packaging. So I got another package of 28 size bow and needles. And then I needed to replace one of the clamps for my Q-snap. It broke. It's the one that needs to go on Cosmic Lover, actually. So I bought replacement 8-inch Q-snap clamps. And I thought that that was all I was getting in my package, but this month's Thread Vault Club came in that package as well. So let me go through and order my monthly clubs. First is Fiberlicious Sammy Fibers. This one was for May. If you don't want to see the color or hear the name, skip ahead. I will put, how about this? I'll put a timestamp in the description of where you can skip to if you don't want to see any of these monthly things because you haven't seen them yet. A lot of people have already talked about them, so I think I'm okay in talking about them. But if you don't want to hear about the fibers that I've got of the month. Anyways, Fiberlicious Sammy Fibers is Memories in the Rain for May. Looks like this. A really pretty like periwinkle blue with green. And I get 36 count fat quarter, 36 count linen, because I know that there's a difference now in the type of fabric that it is. So yeah, one. Then I got BeStitchMe for May, and I am in the Mixed Colors Club, so I get neutrals and colors. This one is called Gray Magic. And I also get 36 count fat quarter from Brandy. And this one is the fabric that I think I might stitch Smooth Sea on. So now that I've talked about it, I can put it in its bag, because I think all of those colors are going to look really pretty on this. And the model is stitched on a light gray, so ta-da! Now that one should be fully kitted. Lastly is my fabric of the month from Sarah, Millennial Fabrics. This one's May, and it's called Daffodil. It's always so hard to show certain colors on camera. This one's a really pretty light yellow, with amazing modeling. Like their dyeing technique is stellar. They always have the best modeling. I get 18 count from them that quarter, and it comes in this really cute little bag with their tag on it. Yeah. Alright, then I have my thread vaults for May and June, and I get these from Millennial Fabrics. She curates a collection of 5 colors from each of those dyers. She's promised us that it's not going to repeat, at least for a while. So for Gentle Art, we have Barn Gray, Willow, Rose Garden, Green Tea Leaf, and Habanero. And the only color that I already have out of all of these is Habanero, so new to my collection. And then from Classic Colorworks, Peach Sherbet, Shrimp Cocktail, Old Marigold, Smoke, and Fancy Green Nancy. And all these are new. I don't have any of these in my collection. So those are awesome. Those are going to add to my piles of fancy floss here shortly. And then I also, in that last package, opened June, and I wasn't expecting these to be in there. I thought they would come with my fabric of the month. So this was an exciting little surprise. So for June, Classic Colorworks, we have La Tierra, Strawberry Parfait, Sugared Violets, Cottage Daisies, and Hickory Sticks. I make that face because the dye lots for hickory sticks is so varied. I think this is like my 3rd or 4th skein of hickory sticks that I own, and all 4 of them look different. It is a really difficult to achieve color. It's mostly brown, but it's got like that grayish undertone, and for some reason it's really hard to replicate. But these 4 I don't have, at least I don't think so. I know I have hickory sticks, but these will be a great to add to my collection. And then for gentle art, we have Mountain Mist, Parchment, Harvest Basket, Poinsettia, and Blueberry. So I think I have Harvest Basket, but the rest of these are new. So that's super exciting. And I love them all. So this makes me super happy. And her clubs are very inexpensive, at least in my opinion. Both fabric and thread vault. Like all of these, I think. So both of my clubs together for floss is $26. So for 10 flosses each month, $26, that just seems very reasonably priced to me for a thread club. And yeah, I love adding to my stash collection. Wow, this is gonna take me a long time to fix that mindset. Alright, now I'm just rambling. Let me talk quickly about new people I've been watching, or people I think you should check out. And then y'all can get out of here if you want, and I'm going to talk a little bit about life and stuff that I've been doing. And then we'll do our little question, and you guys can be free. New to me, Melissa, Diary of a Hyperactive Crafter. She is very fun to watch because I like, well, let me backtrack. I tend to have a very calm demeanor in my videos. My voice, people have told me, is very soothing. So because that's how I am, I tend to like to watch people with a little bit more chaotic energy. Melissa's that way. She's a little bit all over the place, but I appreciate that because I'm also ADHD, so I know how that feels. She's got the Femurs and Fungi Sal going. She's doing the really, really, really big Pokemon Stitch from Lord Lipidin. The one that's like every generation in one picture. It's like 5 feet wide. Ridiculous. But her most recent video was a mid-year whip raid, so go have a look, see what she's working on, and you might find a new person to watch. The next person that I have to talk about is Andy, who's the Crow Stitcher. They shouted me out because we're doing the round robin together. They went and said they watched my video, my last video, and I don't stitch a lot of things that they do, but they said that, you know, my demeanor was calming and they enjoyed seeing different projects from what they work on. They're more spooky, witchy, dark stuff. But they are doing a lot of long dog samplers. So much so that they're hosting a stitch along for the month of June called June Dog, which I'm pretty sure you've heard of. At this point, a lot of people have talked about it, so go follow the hashtag June Dog, go follow Andy, Crow Stitcher, and see all of that progress throughout the month. And then the last person that I have to talk about is Brianna, who is Pyro Stitches. I'm not sure of their pronouns, so I'm going to use neutral pronouns. They're back. They took a huge break. It was like a year. I remember when I first found them, they had 2 or 3 videos, and I watched all of them. I was really excited for their next video, and then it never came. And I was like, oh no, like, did something bad happen? You know, what's going on? Finally, notification popped up that they posted a new video, and I was like, yay. So I went back and watched that. It was a whip parade of everything they've been working on since their last video, and they had so many new projects and a lot of progress. So that was fun to see all of that, all of those projects. They have a lot of things similar to me, a lot of like more modern takes on stuff, but I would definitely recommend checking out Pyro Stitches. So those are my three shout outs, people I've been watching, and let's do my little question in this box really quick, and then we'll talk about life. But I want to do what is fun and random. Let's do light blue. I'll do this question. Let's do this right here. Okay, that works. If you could have any animal as a pet, what would it be and why? If you could have any animal as a pet, what would it be and why? I would love to hear in the comments about pets that you've either had or that you would love to have. And then also just in the comments, I love reading what everyone's working on and just catching up with y'all in the comments. So answer that down there, let me know, and we'll talk about that next video. Alright, if you made it this far, I so appreciate you. We're going to talk about life now, so if you were just here for stitchy stuff, I so appreciate you. Have a great couple of weeks, and I will see you then. Life. So, the biggest bit, I already talked about a little bit, that my husband made first class, and so I was able to pin him the other day. That was super fun and made me tear up a little bit. I'm really proud of him, and it was a lot to be, you know, in front of people fumbling with his tab. It was kind of, luckily he showed me beforehand, so I knew what I was doing, but, you know, still stressful to do that when you've never really done it before. I was the only person who was pinning one of the people who had made the advancement who wasn't in the military. So, yeah. That happened, and then but just enjoying the weather has changed down here. It is super humid and warm now. We are in summer. The pool opened. I have yet to get down there. It's on the docket. I need to make the effort. But I have been watching a lot of shows and reading a lot of books. I think that's the biggest point that I want to make, is this year, more than any other year since I was probably in 8th grade, maybe beginning of high school, I really haven't read books for pleasure. And I know a lot of people within the cross-stitch community, that's like their second hobby. They'll do cross-stitch and books. And so I was like, this is the year we're going to read. And by read, I mean listen to audiobooks, because my brain cannot focus long enough to read an actual book anymore. So I downloaded Libby and have been loving it. If you haven't heard of Libby before, or if you haven't, bit the bullet and downloaded it, highly recommend. All you need is a library card, or multiple, depending on where you live. I have both my library card for where my parents live, which is where I got my first library card, and library card for down here. And so you can have multiple library cards for multiple libraries and access all of them for free through Libby. You can read both like actual books, digital copies of actual books, or audiobooks, depending on what they have in their library. And it works like how normal libraries work. Something can be ready to check out right then and there, or sometimes you have to be put on hold, like put a book on hold and wait for it to become available. So it's great. I have read, I think, 30 books already. Is that right? Close to 30 books this year. And I think that was my goal. I think I've read maybe like 27 books or something, and my goal is 30 books. So I might up my goal a little bit for the year, maybe to 50, or maybe I just leave it at 30 and surpass my goal. That would be great too. But I want to talk about I'll give you the titles of books that I've read recently, but 2 that I really would recommend. Recently I read The Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, which is the prequel Hunger Games book by Suzanne Collins. This one I thought was fine. I'm a big Hunger Games fan, so I was excited to be able to read this one. It was really, 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 really good, and then it felt like it went on too long. Like to me, there was the climax of the action, and then the resolution, and then like the wrap up and stuff. But then it just kept going. Like there was too much outro to the book, and I think it ended on a weird note. The way that it ended just kind of made me uncomfy, didn't like it. So I gave this one 3 stars. But I would love to hear your take on it. And I read Divergent, which is another book that I probably should have read back when I was in high school, but never did. I really liked this one, so much so that I decided I wanted to read the whole trilogy. Usually I will start a series, read the first book. If it doesn't capture my attention, I don't want to read any of the other books. So I really like Divergent, so I started Insurgent, and I finished Insurgent as well. The second one was less good, in my opinion. It didn't hold my attention as much as Divergent did. But, again, both very solid books. I'm on the hold list for Allegiant. So, when that one comes, that will get read as well. So the last two are books that I really want to recommend, and that is The Disasters. I don't remember the author, but I will put a picture of the cover with the author here. This one was awesome. Like, super fun, engaging all the way through. If you like Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie, Marvel Universe, you will like this book. It's space, dystopia, futuristic stuff. Highly recommend. I think I gave this one 5 stars. And then the last book that I want to talk about, recommend, is All the Best Liars. Again, don't remember the author, I'll put it up here. This one is a thriller, I think. I would consider it a thriller. A little bit of an emotional roller coaster. It had a plot twist that I saw coming, but when it happened, I'm still shocked by the way it was written. The resolution was fine. I think it could have been better, but overall, really awesome read. Really enjoyed it. So highly recommend. And those are the things I've been reading recently. Watching, I started and finished all 6 or 7 seasons of Outlander. Whew, why didn't I watch this sooner? That was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was definitely some parts where I was like, this is super cheesy, but overall, awesome, especially if you are a history buff. Outlander is awesome in terms of Scottish history and American history. And then I've also just been chugging along. I've been watching The Good Doctor. I'm really sad that the season finale is either coming up or has happened. I don't have, what does it air on? Fox, I think. If you have the subscription to Fox, you can watch it like live, but I just have Hulu regular, wait for it to come to the normal streaming service. So I am chugging along with that, and enjoying it. So that's about it. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much. It really means a lot to have someone stick around all the way to the end. And I'm gonna get out of here now and clean up my mess and clean my apartment because my family is coming to visit and they're gonna stay here with us, and I don't really have space for them to stay here, so we're gonna try and fix that. I'm gonna go enjoy these next couple of weeks, and I will see you then. Until next time, happy stitching. Bye. 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to
set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs.